Hello everyone. We are now in another series in AI in trades. Today I am with Justin. Welcome Justin.
Thanks for having me. Excited to be here.
Today we have a co-founder here, so we will share insights about how shops are using AI in the business. Before starting, Justin, can you tell us yourself, your company?
Yeah, absolutely. So my name is Justin Judd. I am the VP of Partnerships at CHIIRP. I'm also one of the owners. I've been in the software space for about 16 years now. Before CHIIRP, I was at a company called Route, and Route was the first software to come up with shipping insurance for online stores. Basically, if you go online and you go get a pair of pants and you get to the checkout page, there's a little box that says protect your package from loss, damage, or theft. Route was the first company to come up with that kind of idea. We went from zero to $1 billion valuation in about 3.5 years. And then around the time that we got that valuation, Ruan Fenn, the CEO and founder of CHIIRP, reached out to me because he was still selling CHIIRP. Knew he had a really good product, but needed somebody to come in and kind of take over sales for him so he could focus more on building the business.
Yeah, very nice. In our previous talks, you mentioned that CHIIRP is not a classic Silicon Valley company. It's actually started by an operator. Can you tell about that story, how the initial business started and became this software and AI company?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's a pretty cool story. CHIIRP's not your typical Silicon Valley software company. We didn't raise any money. We're bootstrapped. We're already profitable. But the idea of how CHIIRP is born is pretty cool. Basically, Ruan Fenn, the founder of CHIIRP, back in 2010, he had a windshield repair business and he would set up a tent at gas stations and people would drive through to get gas and he would go up to their car and he would offer to wash their windshield and he would look for cracks in the windshield. Insurance covers that and he would offer to repair their windshield. He was actually really successful with that business. He ended up getting it into 12 car dealerships. So they would set up in the service centers of car dealerships. And then back in 2012, he had the idea to start an online course to teach other people how to start their own windshield repair business. Keep in mind, this was in 2012. And so this was before online courses were really popular or really cool. So he built the course and then he was generating leads through Facebook lead ads. And for anyone listening, you may have run Facebook ads before, maybe you haven't. But the simple explanation is you can pay Facebook to generate leads for you. And someone goes to an ad, they click it, it brings up a form, and they fill out their information saying, hey, I'm interested in learning more. What Ruan noticed is when someone would go and fill out that form and he would get a new lead, when he would text message that lead, conversion would increase. The second thing he noticed is the quicker that I send out the text message to the lead, the higher conversion increases. And so he ended up piecing together like 3 different softwares to be able to automate his entire sales funnel. And basically, the way that it worked was a new lead would come in and they would get a text message from Ruan, automated, with a 2-minute video. After that 2-minute video was done, another text message would go out with a 15-minute video doing a deeper dive on the course. After that video was done, another text message would go out with a calendar link. So a link to schedule a call with him. And so he ended up doing a little over $2 million selling that online course through this automated sales funnel. And again, I want you to understand that there was no manual outreach there. From the minute that the lead came in, the first text message that went out was automated, the second one that went out was automated, and the third one that went out was automated. and people would book a call with him. He did a little over $2 million, and that is where the idea of CHIIRP was born, because he figured, man, if this works for me, there has to be other businesses this could work for.
Yeah, people say that calling converts better than texting, but you realize that texting is way better than calling people. So how did you compare these two strategies? Can you just elaborate a little bit more?
Yeah, absolutely. So let me be clear that a tool like CHIIRP is never to replace the human touch. We believe in the human touch, definitely still want to call leads or call customers, because that human voice and that human relationship is important. Now, that being said, how often do you get a phone call and you don't answer it because it's not a number that you recognize? I would guess the answer is pretty often. A lot of people aren't going to answer phone calls from numbers that they're just not familiar with. Well, the difference between a text message is it doesn't matter if you recognize that number or not. Everybody lives in front of their phones these days. So one way or another, you are going to see that message. You know what I mean? It's got a 98% open
Yes.
rate. Actually moving more towards 99% open rate. But the thing about the text message is your message is going to get in front of that customer just about every single time, whereas the phone call, that's not the case.
Yeah, so you have sent hundreds of millions of text messages, but you've been doing this business for a long time. I imagine you have so much messages pile up. What did you do with these messages? How are you actually analyzing and using this asset for your business?
Yeah, really, really, really good question. So CHIIRP's been around for 7 years. During that time, we're actually creeping up on having sent 500 million text messages. During these 7 years, we knew that we were sitting on a gold mine of conversational data, because we work with $1 million operators and we work with $250 million operators, and we thought we knew what was working. And so we would build in best practices, but it was still just gut feeling, because who's going to read 500 million messages, one message at a time, and actually be able to truly understand the patterns in those messages? And then what happened? AI came out. AI allowed us to analyze every single message that's ever been sent through CHIIRP, every back and forth conversation that's ever been had in CHIIRP. What turned into a sold estimate? What didn't? What turned into a booked job? What didn't? What turned into a Google review? What didn't? What turned into a positive response? What turned into a negative response? And the data that this AI analyzing these conversations gave back to us is absolutely mind-blowing. And it's now this data of 500 million messages that's fueling our new platform, CHIIRP AI. And so instead of having to manually build a follow-up sequence like Ruan Fenn did on his Facebook leads, you can now just launch a CHIIRP AI agent, and it's literally going off of 500 million messages. So it knows when to follow up, what time of the day to follow up, what day of the week to follow up, what channel to follow up with, how many times to follow up, etc. So it's extremely powerful.
Usually, when you analyze lots of data, you always have a perception before analyzing data that could be the pattern.
Yeah.
So, what surprised you? What was controversial for you after analyzing all these things?
I'll give you listeners some gold here. So go ahead and write this down. What time and what day do you think it is best to send a text message on an open estimate follow-up? What is the highest converting time and day that you could send out a text message to follow up on an open estimate that didn't close in the home? Mustafa, you got any wild guesses?
I usually send my messages early in the morning.
Yeah. That's what we thought.
Yeah.
The data tells us it's 6 p.m. on a Monday. 6 p.m.
Oh,
at night on a Monday. And after
wow.
analyzing, it's because it's the first day of the week and that person has just gotten home from work and they finally got a little bit of time to sit down, look at their phone, and respond to messages.
Yeah, that's very interesting. I had the same experience with some masters. If I send messages on Sunday night, I I really get immediate response. Probably they are just cleaning up all the week, getting ready for the next week, so then they can immediately get back to me.
Yeah.
So
There's another. Can I tell one more story here?
yeah, of course. Go ahead.
Cool. There's a really cool story that illustrates the power of data and words. Words are extremely powerful if you actually sit down and think about it. Think about how important the words that you say to yourself, because your subconscious mind is processing that information one way or another. So if you're feeding your brain with positive words, your outputs are going to be much different than if you're feeding yourself a lot of negativity. Words are extremely powerful. And a lot of times, I think when we send these text messages, we're forgetting that we're actually putting words in these messages, and the slight change of a couple of words can have a massive difference when it comes to conversion. So the story is when Ruan Fenn was set up at the gas stations washing windshields, initially he would just ask the person, "Hey, can I wash your windshield?" By saying that, he would only get 1 out of every 10 people to actually let him wash their windshield. And he would write it down every time so he could track, okay, this many cars came in. I was able to wash this many windshields that turned in this many repairs. Well, he had the idea, man, I need to change my wording up a little bit so I can have more opportunities. And so instead of asking them, hey, can I wash your windshield? He changed it to something like, hey, as part of your service here at the gas station, we're giving complimentary windshield washes. So he took a different approach in wording. His 1 out of 10 went up to 9 out of 10. And it was just, he just adjusted a couple of words, and his conversion now went from 1 out of every 10 cars coming in being an opportunity to 9 out of every 10 cars coming in being an opportunity. We're seeing that same stuff in the data. The wording in a text message from a contractor living in North Carolina is going to be different than a contractor living in California. How aggressive you want to be over here is going to be a little different than how aggressive you want to be over here in this state. So there's some really, really cool things we're finding in the data in regards to specific words in those messages that are helping contractors convert leads at the highest level.
That's a very good insight. So, and actually very local customization. So, from the shop perspective, how are they gonna use this? Is it easy to just launch an agent? Do they actually need to configure anything in your tools? How easy it is? Can you tell about their experience using AI messaging? Are you providing all the other flows out of the box?
Yeah. So most of the agents that they're going to use in their business, we have pre-built. Facebook Ad Agent, Angie, Thumbtack, Yelp, Networks, Modernize, Google LSA, HomeBuddy, estimate follow-up agents, missed call agents, unbooked call agents, review agents. We have any agent that they're going to want in their business besides maybe the one-off companies. Each agent is taking specific data from those 500 million messages. For example, the Angie agent is only using messages in that 500 million messages that were specific to Angie leads. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Wow.
And yeah. So
This is
it's
great customization.
it's feeding very specific data. Now, that being said, there is still some training that needs to happen based on the company. So as we onboard them, we will have them send us documentation and stuff like that that we can upload to their agents. But that's just more training on who they are as a company, pricing, services they offer, etc. so that the AI knows what to say in these specific messages about that specific company.
So they're connecting lots of tools like Yelp, Google, Facebook. So which one do you think that they should connect first and start from that agent?
That is such a good question. Honestly, it's going to depend on what their biggest pain point is. If they don't have a tool that's already following up on open estimates, it's going to be that. Because if contractors go and they look at how much money they have sitting in open estimates inside their field service management software, it's usually kind of mind blowing. And we'll typically see about a 10 to 15% increase in conversion just on open estimates through CHIIRP, which results in quite a bit of money for most companies. But some companies already have some type of tool in place to follow up on open estimates. And so it might be that they're missing a lot of phone calls. In that case, they're going to want their missed call agent set up first so they're not losing out on all of that revenue because they're spending thousands of dollars to get the phones ringing. And if they miss a phone call, well, guess what? If you're not reconnecting with that person right away, they're going somewhere else. So it depends on the biggest pain point in the business.
Got it. So now we talk about AI and getting back to it, but I want to make a cut over here. So you're also a big believer in humans.
Yes.
And where is the line for you between AI agents and humans?
This is such a hard question for me because on one end, I work with AI every day and I see where it's going. And people that aren't learning how to work with it, in my opinion, are going to get eaten up over the next 18 months. And it's only getting better and it's only getting smarter. But on the other end, I'm a big believer in humans. And so I think the line for me is when AI gets to the point where humans stop thinking for themselves. Thinking for yourself as a human being is an absolute superpower. And I'm going to get off topic here a little bit, but we're all programmed from the time that we're born, right? We're programmed based on where we grow up, the parents that we're raised by, the religion that we're raised in. And a lot of times we don't even realize that these programs are running on. And you get to a point as a human being when you really want to level up and you want to elevate your life, you have to really start thinking for yourself and trying to pay attention to these programs that are running on inside of you that maybe you're not even aware of and actually figure out, man, is this something I truly believe in? Is this something that's truly serving me? Or am I just kind of buying into this because this is what I've been taught my whole life? And once you really get to that point of being able to think for yourself and understand what you believe in and what you don't believe in, it becomes a superpower. And so my point to all that is our brains are super machines. I always relate
Exactly.
AI to our brains. The better you prompt AI, what happens?
Yeah, the results are very different.
Yeah, the results.
You,
Think about the way you prompt your brain.
yeah, exactly. We should just think about AI more like a tool. We had libraries, we had the internet, we had the software, now we had the AI. So people just learn a way to use these things as a tool in advantage of their self, in advantage of the civilization. So that's how we improve ourselves.
That's
Yeah,
actually that's a good point. I am actually getting smarter while I'm using AI because it's allowing me to do things that I couldn't do before. For like automating tasks and for being able to move quicker and to free you up so that you can focus on more of these human things that we can be good at. I'm all for it. I do want to be clear. I'm all in on AI. I just see how quickly it's moving and I see that there's still people fighting against it for some reason. Honestly, it makes me a little bit sad because I feel like the people that are not working with it and are just going to continue to fight against it, I feel like they're going to see some struggles over the 18 months.
yeah. Now let's get back to the AI in this industry. So one of the things in this business is so many AI voice agents are being deployed. Some companies use it for after hours, some companies use it completely, and some companies just don't use it. From your experience, which one is a better strategy?
From my opinion, using AI for overflow, weekends, and after hours is an extremely powerful solution because it's better to have voice AI answer your phone calls than just to miss a bunch of phone calls. That's literally money going down the drain. It's interesting because contractors will spend all this money on marketing and then they'll miss a phone call and not think twice about it. During business hours, to have voice AI answering right now, I'm not bought in on it. There's a couple of reasons. You're spending a lot of money on those leads during business hours. I just think that humans are going to be able to do a better job at handling those leads and add that human touch into that equation. I just don't think the voice AI is quite there to do it as your front lines during business hours. That being said, do I think it's going to get there? Yeah, I do think that it's going to get there. I just don't know how long it's going to take.
Yeah, so far I heard from other leaders that people don't like voice AI agent that much, but leaders are also deploying it because having something book is better than not book. So
Totally. Do you have the same kind of thought? After hours, weekends, overflow, it's good, but have humans during business hours, at least right now until the voice AI gets better?
yeah, I think it's much better than a voicemail because then they understand the problem more deeply. But once today's books, they have more chance to serve their customers. So yeah, I agree. Because sometimes people are calling these shops because they are in trouble. So
Totally. They need it right. Yep.
they don't want to talk. So they need someone to calm down and help them. And I think the AI agent is not capable of doing that human touch. But yeah, it's better than a voicemail. It's better
I
than, okay, let's call tomorrow. But on the other hand, the AI is improving a lot. Money is being invested. So we will see more improvements
yeah,
because it's
totally.
just sad that,
I called my bank the other day and I really needed something done, and it was a voice AI agent, and it drove me nuts.
oh,
It drove me nuts. It was asking me too many questions. It didn't know what I
mm,
needed. And I just wanted to talk to a human. I see both sides of it. I think after hours, weekends, overflow, it's a great solution. I think during business hours, I just think for right now, still got to have the humans doing that.
yeah, totally agree. We talk about the AI agents, but you're also in this industry and you're seeing many applications. So what's working and what's not working with the AI in this industry?
I think one of the things that's not working is AI is being talked about so much right now. And you've got different AI companies popping up left and right that a lot of times I think contractors are always looking for the next tool that's going to save their business, but they don't actually give themselves enough time to actually implement the tool that maybe they're already using. And so that's one thing that I see and that I'm a big believer in is like if you're going to pick an AI tool and you're going to use it in your business, go all in on implementing that tool, getting to work for you, and then look at the results. And at that point, if it's something that you want to look at something different later on, you can always explore that. But don't get caught up in chasing the next thing. Another thing that I see working and not working is just the voice AI. I hear good about it and I hear bad about it. It's all over the board right now. When I talk about contractors getting left behind, let me give you one example. One of the guys that works with CHIIRP, he owns a garage door company. It's about a $10 million a year company out of Colorado, but he built his own website with AI and it's AI optimized. So AEO. So AI can scrape it and it's going to be optimized for AI pushing leads to the business. He did it in 2 weeks. right?
Yeah, we also see the same thing. So before the AIs, we were helping them build the reports. Now we just connected the AI tools and they just do everything by themselves. So it's very fascinating how AI is enabling so many people in these technical jobs.
Yeah, which is nuts. So there's a ton of use cases like that, but the operators that are really leaning into it and figuring out how to use it, they're just able to do things quicker now, and things are just moving rapidly. And if you're not getting on board, then it's going to really, really slow you down, and it's going to be hard to compete.
Do you think that AI is just creating jobs or AI is just filling the gaps for the roles that these people are not willing to hire?
I believe AI is going to create new jobs. I just don't know exactly what that looks like right now, to be totally honest with you. But this has happened before. Anytime that there's a big technological advancement, people get worried that it's just going to get rid of all human jobs. And the next thing you know, it's not that it just got rid of jobs, it actually opened up different kinds of jobs. And so I think that that is going to happen. One thing I will say is that I believe in order for you to be capable of being in one of those jobs that it opens up, you have to know how to use AI in that job. I'm telling my team
Yeah.
right now, dude, you guys have got to use AI more. You've got to learn how to use AI because in the next 12 to 18 months, I just believe that these jobs that it opens up, one of the requirements is that you're going to have to seriously know how to use AI in that specific role.
Yeah, I also hear the same things. For example, some leaders say they didn't have budget to hire a marketing team, but they're filling those gaps with the AI agents. And also with this marketing is just built in, now they're making more revenue and now they're growing and now they're hiring more people. So, okay,
Yep.
they also let some people go, but they're hiring more when they're growing. So actually it's kind of not that bad from some perspective.
Certain roles are being let go, but other roles are opening up because the business is growing.
Yeah, and also from what you said, people need to learn because they're not just thinking of firing people, but they're just mostly using the words repurpose people. Most of the companies or shops, they're understaffed already. So they don't have enough people to do all the jobs. Now they have some opportunity. We can do these things with the AI. Now we can repurpose these people for the things that we were not doing. Maybe it's not that scary in some areas. I think the safest people is the technicians
Yeah, for sure.
in some verticals. Technicians are also the salespersons for these shops. It's a very human interaction so with the customers. Do you think that the AI can help salesperson sell more?
Absolutely. Yeah, that's one of them that I'm completely bought in on because you can now have AI record every single conversation that a technician has with a customer. And now you can listen to those recordings and you can do training on those recordings. And that's where a human comes into play. I think that a human is going to be able to do a better job at listening to those recordings and getting the takeaways and implementing training from that. I think there's some sales AI tools out there right now where the AI can actually listen into the conversation live while the technician's in the home and give them some feedback during the call. And I also think that that could be a really powerful tool. I just don't know as much about how that's working right now, but I have heard that that's out there.
Got it. So how's AI helping your company? So it's a competitive space. One of your competitors has been acquired by Yelp, I think for 300 million.
Yeah.
So how are you differentiating yourselves? Can you just tell about how you are leveraging AI for yourself to make differentiation?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're using AI to use that 500 million messages of data that we have to automatically train all of the AI agents that are launched in CHIIRP. So that's a massive win. We're using AI in other ways in the platform. So, for example, People used to have to import lists into CHIIRP if they wanted to do like a marketing promotion to past customers. Now we're using AI to automatically go into their field service management software and pull those audiences over so that they don't have to import lists anymore. We're using AI in our coding. So a lot of our developers don't even write a ton of code anymore. We've trained Claude to the point where it's finding bugs for us and then offering recommendations. And so now the developers are just approving those recommendations as opposed to always having to do that stuff on their own. So we're using it in every area that we can. Claude's also building full integrations for us now. And this is actually mind blowing. And I probably shouldn't even say this on here. I'm guessing other software companies have had to have figured this out. But let's say if we strike a partnership with a new field service management software and we get their APIs, because that's how we're triggering most of these agents, right? Is through the contractors field service management software. When we get a new API now, it used to have to be our team that would actually build that integration. And, things are busy, and so it could take 3 to 6 months. Claude now builds integrations for us in less than a day.
Wow, that's fascinating. We are also using Cloud a lot, and also we are encouraging our customers to use Cloud. We integrated our tool completely inside the Cloud, so our customers can build their own tools with
Yep.
all the data they have. And let's get back to your business. I know AI, so you're sending emails very quickly. Do you think that people are thinking those are automated? How do you give that authenticity to your users? How do you personalize it?
Yeah, such a good question. So from the get-go, just because of the experience that Ruan Fenn had in sending text messages, we understood that when you write these messages, you basically want to write them like you're writing a friend. Okay, so let me give you an
Yeah.
example. There might be an HVAC company that they don't have an automated follow-up tool in place, but maybe they have a manual process where every time there's an open estimate, their technician sends this open estimate a specific text message, and then maybe a week later, they send them another specific text message. You could literally take that exact message the technician would send the customer and build that into your automated follow-up sequence. And so that's what we've been training customers to do over the last 7 years. And so the cool thing is now that it's our 500 million messages of data that's fueling our AI agents, it's using that data we've been putting together for 7 years, which is messages that are more authentic, that seem like you're texting back with a friend. Because one of the things you're going to notice is a lot of times people feel like they need to write their whole life story in a text message. And that's not the point. You want them to be super short and sweet, because the whole point of the text message isn't to sell. It's just to stay in front of the lead or the customer and knowing that they're going to get it every single time.
Yeah, that's great. So it was a great conversation, Justin. Before we close, how people are going to reach you and CHIIRP? What's the best way to reach you?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can always go to www.chiirp.com. CHIIRP has 2 I's, so CHIIRP.com. If you want to reach out to me personally, my cell phone is 385-285-9496. And then my email is justin@chiirp.com.
Yeah, great. Do you want to just add something before closing?
I guess one thing I'll leave with the audience is if you're still chatting with ChatGPT and that's the only way that you're using AI, you're already falling behind.
Oh,
So
that's a good one.
yeah, you're just chatting with ChatGPT. If that's still all you're doing, start doing some more research and playing around with different tools because it's moving quickly.
Yeah, chatting is just to understand and seeing the first ones, but in order to get the most value, yeah, they should start integrating with their own processes and tools.
Totally.
So thank you, Justin. It was a great conversation. I really enjoyed it. And thank you.
Hey, thanks for having me on, man. Keep it up.
Bye.
Bye.